Hey folks, welcome to our second annual AI showcase. My name is Wade Foster. I'm the co-founder and CEO here at Zapier, and I'm going to be your host for today. We started Zapier with a simple belief: humans. We just think humans should. We're just some humans who think computers should do more work for us. And with AI, we're getting closer to that reality every day. Almost 400,000 customers like you have been using AI in Zapier to delegate over 50 million tasks. You've integrated everyday apps like HubSpot, Salesforce, MailChimp with ChatGPT, or one of our 200 plus AI apps to do things like summarize content, personalize emails, automate support, and a whole lot more. And we at Zapier have transformed our operations with AI too. Every one of our teams, from sales to support to marketing to engineering, has leveraged AI to get more work done and free up their teams to do more strategic, creative, and human work. And we want you to experience that magic too. Today, we've got an exciting show in store. In a time when hardware theory and raw model performance is what makes headlines, most people just want to know, how do you actually use AI at work? And they're searching for tangible use cases. We think Zapier holds the answer. And so you're going to hear from 9 customers. You're going to see real demos on how they're implementing Zapier and AI in their business today. Then you're going to get an exclusive look at some product updates across our AI tools. And we'll end with a live product Q&A where 4 of our product managers will answer all of your Zapier and AI questions. So go ahead and add your questions to the Q&A tab throughout the event, and make sure to drop them in the Q&A spot, not chat, so that we don't lose it. A couple other housekeeping items. First, Showcase is being recorded, so you can come back to the same link that you used to join to watch the recording anytime. And we're also going to send you an email with the recording link after the event. Second, if you run into technical issues, try refreshing your page. We recommend using Google Chrome for the event today. And third, the Zapier team is going to share some links in the chat, including templates and tutorials for all the demos that you're going to see here today. And last, if you want to dive deeper, come to our build along session next Tuesday, May 14th. We're going to teach you how to build some of the workflows you see today, step by step. So while it's on your mind, click the link in the chat and go register. All right, let's check out some demos. First up, one of the most common problems people come to Zapier to solve is to automate lead collection. So let's check out how Siki Chen has built a Zap to personalize lead management with clever emails.
Hey there, so I'm Siki, and I run a company at runway.com. And the business problem we were trying to solve is we launched this website a few months back, and you could sign up here. And it was a pretty decent website, so it got a lot of traction. At one point, we were getting a few dozen signups every minute, and it was overloading all of our inbound lead qualification. So we wanted a way to automate how we do the lead qualification here at Runway. And so, of course, I use Zapier, so I'd love to walk you through how I set up automation to make that a lot faster. So right now, when you sign up for a Runway demo, it goes to a database in a retool, and that triggers a webhook, which talks to Zapier. And then we do a quick filter to make sure that it's a valid email address, and then we loop through every email address. Then we first have a ChatGPT automation that filters out the free email accounts that are probably not going to be qualified, places like Gmail, Yahoo, and Outlook, because we only want work email accounts. So we do that, and then we send a notification to see if this email is at least a work email through Slack, which I won't go through yet. And then if it's qualified, I put it into a queue, and the reason why we do that is so that we don't hit rate limiting in ChatGPT. That's like how fast we were getting leads at one point. And we enrich every email via Clearbit, so we get a bit more information about an email, and then we qualify that Clearbit information. And so the way that prompt looks like is this. We say, hey, you're a highly intelligent sales qualification bot. You're going to examine this raw data and provide useful context to the sales team about this lead in a very short, very succinct paragraph of plain English of how qualified a lead is and why. And then we give a description of which leads are qualified, where they're based, how much revenue they should have. And then we have it output a string, whether if it's qualified, we'll say qualified leads. If it's not qualified, we'll say unqualified lead with the colon, and that will parse it later. That output will go to Slack as well. We get a notification to see if the lead is qualified. And if it's qualified, then we also send a message to a different channel and run as qualified. So these are all signups channel, and this would be the qualified leads. Finally, we'll have Zapier draft an email, and the instructions look like this. We tell the ChatGPT you're a phenomenal copywriter, you're going to examine raw customer data and personalize below template. So I have a template here, and I try to give it very specific instructions on what I want it to sound like. It is extremely important that a snippet is, witty in tone. It's one sentence. It's authentic. It's clever. And we give it instructions to say that, hey, please connect what we do with the specifics of this person. So it should be very clever. And we tell them what Runway does. And we want it to output some extremely smart, clever, witty wordplay or creative reference that tastefully, subtly, cleverly connects Runway with your business. So by way of a real example, what that all looks like in the end is, for example, if Jeff at Amazon.com signs a Runway, first it'll go through the qualification flow, and this is all ChatGPT generated from Zapier. We say Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, has shown interest in services. Amazon's a global powerhouse, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously qualified lead. And then we'll have ChatGPT generate an email. Hey, Jeff, thanks for signing up for Runway. In case you forgot who we are, you probably found us through my Twitter. We're excited to see if Runway can put some pep in Amazon's financial modeling steps, but don't worry, we won't count on any rockets from Blue Origin to blast off our growth. And this email, as a final step in automation, will actually go straight to a Gmail drafts folder. And so at the very end, a salesperson or me should be able to just press the send button and send an outreach email to whoever is qualified. And that's what I am doing. I just press send, 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 send. Every email is to a qualified lead, and every email is custom written in a clever way, customized to that lead. Thank you.
All right. Over in the home services industry, Ryan Blackburn built a chatbot that generated over $134,000 in revenue for a client in its first year. So let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Ryan Blackburn. I am the operations manager at Results Grow, a marketing agency specializing in generating leads for home service businesses. In our industry, a key challenge for businesses isn't just generating leads, it's taking those leads into the next stage, the home appointment. For these reasons, I decided to develop a chatbot for my clients who lack the resources to book leads into a home appointment. Let's dig in. Here's a real-world conversation with a lead who submitted their information for a roofing quote utilizing our 3-path booking approach. Our initial message, triggered when a lead submits the form on an ad, includes a brief introduction, more information about the company, and a question to start a conversation. Would you like to book a time for us to come out and assess your roofing needs? The customer then replied, sounds good. So the next stage then sends the lead the booking link and instructed them to select an appointment time. We found that delaying the link to the second message significantly improved the booking rate, making the conversation feel more natural. In this situation, the customer didn't book in right away, instead saying, I only have $6,000 cash in hand. This response executed the final step, which is configured to answer any remaining questions or encourage them to book in if not already done. So how does this all come together to work? Each path is dependent on 2 Boolean fields in Zapier tables. Zap data has been found and sent booking link. When the customer is sent to each path, a unique prompt in ChatGPT executes. In the customer has responded field, common questions and answers are provided as context. The booking link is included in each message to prompt the AI to implement it. Next, the AI's response is sent to our CRM, Go High Level, which then delivers the reply as an SMS to the customer. Finally, the record status is updated in Zapier tables to progress further down the funnel with subsequent responses. It really is as simple as that. To date, we have implemented the chatbot into 92 client accounts. The bot that I showcased today is currently live and actively talking with leads for our roofing client in Florida. In the first year the chatbot was live, it engaged in a conversation with 30% of all closed appointments for this client, which brought in more than $134,000 of revenue. While not flawless, it booked a substantial amount of appointments and helped a busy client effectively follow up with his leads.
All right, something else that eats up a ton of time, making invoices for every client. That's why Danny Richmond built this voice to invoice Zap for his wife who runs a gardening business. Here's Danny.
Hi folks, this is Danny Richmond here in London in the UK. I'm just going to do a quick demo to show you an automation I've created for my lovely wife Nadia, you see here, using Zapier and AI. Now, Nadia created a business earlier this year called Wee Beastie Gardens, where she's going around doing gardening and landscaping in our local area. One of the challenges she's found with her business is that she's so busy working on gardens, she really struggles to catch up with all the paperwork that she needs to do. And so it can be several weeks before she gets around to invoicing a client. It can then take several weeks for them to pay her, and this creates all kinds of cash flow problems. And it's not just invoicing, also logging expenses, sending out client quotations, adding tasks to her to-do list. All of this becomes very difficult when you're driving around in a van or you're halfway up a tree. So I wanted to solve this problem for her. So I'm just going to flip over here to this dummy Gmail account I created. So we're going to pretend that this is the inbox for one of her clients. And on her phone, she has a form like this. This was created using a platform called JotForms, which integrates with Zapier. It has a single button on there, which is to record. So all she has to do is dictate her instructions. Generate an invoice for Penny Jones for clearing out the weeds from her flower bed and weeding the back garden and removing the tree stump. And for that, we're going to charge £672.50. And there we are. We can see it's come through to the inbox. Click and open up the PDF, and we can see it's to Penny Jones, clearing out the weeds from the flower bed, weeding the back garden, removing the tree stump, £672.50. Now I'm just going to use exactly the same form again. This time I'm going to add a task to her Trello board. And so we're going to say, add a task to my to-do list to go and visit Richard Roberts and check whether his oak tree has any signs of disease. I need to get that done by the 17th of April. And there we go. It's now added to the to-do list. Visit Richard Roberts and check his oak tree. You can see the deadline is set for the 17th of April. And if we click on there, we get the detail. Visit Richard Roberts to inspect his oak tree for any signs of disease. And using that same form, she can generate client quotations, she can log expenses and do all kinds of things. Now, you can integrate this with whatever bookkeeping software you're using, whatever to-do list you happen to use, as long as it works with Zapier, any of those work. Now, if you want to see how to set this all up, I'm going to be providing a video with all the instructions and all the prompts you need for the AI to create this for yourself. Bye for now.
All right. Did you know that Zapier has a native chatbot product where you can spin up custom AI chatbot in minutes? Well, Sam is going to show us just how easy it is to set one up and train it to talk to your customers.
Hello, my name is Sam. You might have seen my TikTok at Marketing with Sam, and I also help clients with marketing strategy, AI, and automation. And I am so excited to talk about Zapier's chatbots feature today because it is a total game changer for brands that need help, but they don't necessarily want to go and hire more headcount, and they're really trying to save on costs. I think a lot of brands don't really understand the power of AI and how to use it in their business. This is the perfect use case to get started and will actually save you time, budget, and it's easy to set up in 5 or 10 minutes. Truly, it's amazing. So let me walk you through what I have here. I've created a brand called Mighty Mushroom Bites. It's not a brand that exists, and I just want to show you how this could look for your brand. So what's really cool in the chatbot setup is I've gone ahead here, I've titled my chatbot, and I'm giving an AI generated greeting. So basically every single time the new chatbot is triggered to start, you'll see a AI greeting pop up. And I've also made sure that, you know, from a voice perspective, I don't want it to be so high on the creativity scale where it sounds really fuzzy. I want it to sound professional and predictable. So I put it a little bit here in the middle. So each customer will still get a unique response, but it'll still sound professional. So you can see here that this is the AI like initial greeting that you will get when the chatbot either starts with the customer or starts with you internally if you're using this internally. And then I'm going to go to instructions. This is where I really program the chatbot to be everything that I need it to be for my brand, for my website, or let's say you're using this for an internal training tool, same thing. So there's a section here called directives. And what this does is this is helping you basically program the chatbot. And Zapier makes it so easy for you. So you assign it a role. I've said you're a senior customer support rep who's an expert in the brand. You give it an objective, context, audience. So it has all of this information when it's going through and answering questions. I've also included some Q&As here, but I want to show you something in a second that I think is really cool. I've included the style, so be friendly, engaging with the user, and then other rules. We don't want it to make up information. Don't talk about other topics, right? We don't want that. And also a support email. So if anyone has additional questions that maybe the chatbot can't answer, they want to get in contact with a human, they can do that. So this is what I think is really cool. I can actually download documentation or FAQs that I currently already have built and use it to supply the knowledge and the directives for the chatbot. So I've uploaded a Google Doc here that has Q&As that help the chatbot learn a little bit more about my brand. So let's test it out. I'm going to say, I'm going to pretend like I'm a customer. Are your products free? And we'll see what it says. Okay, great. I can say, where are your products made? Which I didn't specifically say in the knowledge source. I haven't specifically clarified this. So let's see what it says when there is a question that maybe isn't perfectly answered. Okay, our many mushroom bites are made with food grade mushrooms. They're produced in a facility. So it's a little bit vague. So I might say, is there an email that I can use to contact someone for more information? Let's see what it says. Perfect. It gives a support email. So this is fully built out, ready to go. Now I can go embed this on my brand website, or I can use this internally. And no joke, it took me maybe 5 to 10 minutes. That is the true power of Zapier chatbots. You have to check it out. It is a game changer, truly, for any business, but especially small brands that want to act more lean and move faster.
Now, here's something we could all automate more of: emails. We spend so much time reading emails, drafting emails, replying to them, but now AI can take on the load for us. And here's Yohi. He's going to explain how he uses AI to pull data from emails right into their CRM.
Hello, everybody. My name is Yohei with Untapped Capital. We are an early stage VC firm that uses lots of AI and automation to operate smarter and faster. Today, I get to share Deals Make Deal Face, one of our AI automations that we use at our firm. Fun fact, I started using OpenAI in my Zapier workflows in November of 2022, a month before ChatGPT came out, using an unofficial integration that I built, which eventually became the official OpenAI Zapier integration. We use lots of Zapier workflows at our firm, many of which have OpenAI or ChatGPT in the workflows. So I'm excited to share this one with you. So let's dive in. So as a VC, we get lots of emails like this, right? Check out this company, Paperclip Maker. They make automated factories, This needs to go in our CRM. So let's automate it. I'll go through each step by step, but just to give you the overview, when Deals Make Deal Face gets a new email, we'll strip the forwarding header, we'll extract the data, we'll then find the people and orgs that we want to map the data to, and then we'll create the deal record. Let's dive in. So when we get the email, any of our team members can just forward it to deals@untapped.vc. When we get a new email, if it's from a team member, this prevents spam and other people being able to use it. Zapier reads the email for us. Then we'll use Formatter. Because every email that Deals@ receives is forwarded from a team member, we know that there's this little forwarded dash at the top. So we just strip it out and we get the data we need right here. A little confusing that I'm both the referrer here and the actual team member, so ignore that. Then we use ChatGPT to extract the structured data to get what we need. And we get to just type in a whole bunch of variables that we want here with a little description of the kind of info that we want and context, right? Here's an email regarding an investment opportunity and so on. Now, here's a note. On the extract structured data piece, for each variable, we get to write a description of that variable, which helps ChatGPT decide what to extract, whether or not it's required, true or false, the string type, and then optionally, we can give variable choices if we want to make sure that the sender type is either a founder or referrer, or you can not provide those options if you want to keep it more open-ended. Now, once we've extracted that data, let's check it. Boom. So we have all of these data extracted, returned as individual variables, right? Company founders, team is all AI founders, as in they are actually AI perfect, right? That's exactly what we have in the email here. So step, because we're only 3 down, we got 4 more steps to go. We're going to map it to the Airtable now. Because we're throwing it in our CRM, first thing we're going to do is look for the sender in our Airtable by the email address. If they exist, we'll take that, and then we'll grab the ID here because we're going to use the ID to map it. And then we'll do a quick code step to extract the domain from the URL. We use the domain as the ID in our CRM, so that's what we do here, which allows us to find the workable to see if that startup already exists, right? Because we don't want to add the whole startup. If it exists, we should grab the ID. If it doesn't exist, we'll create the startup and grab the ID. And at the next step, we can now create a deal record. We'll add data from the extraction step, we'll add raw data from the email, and raw email data, and then we'll use IDs from the search and create step to map it to all organizations. Boom. with 7 steps done. And if we look in our Airtable, you see paperclip makers, you see the website, you see amount raising, traction, you see the raw email data, and so on. I love this kind of AI-based email automations. We have one for updates at untap.vc as well, where we forward update emails from founders, and it grabs kind of asks, challenges, runway, extraction, and so on. Well, thanks for letting me share. You can follow me on Twitter at Yohei Nakajima, learn about our firm at untap.vc, or check out my build and public log at yohei.me, where I share a lot of my no-code and code builds. Thanks again.
All right. Pete runs an AI newsletter. And as you can imagine, it can be tough staying on top of all the AI news and trends every day. So he built his app for his team to get the latest scoop while staying organized. Let's check it out.
Hey everyone, my name is Pete Huang. I'm the co-founder of The Neuron, the leading newsletter and podcast on AI. You can find us at theneurondaily.com or by searching The Neuron wherever you get your podcasts. We're in the news business. Every day we make sure we're on top of the latest news in AI and trying out the most relevant pieces to our audience. So we've built some tooling in-house that automatically posts a running feed of news into our Slack, plus an AI-driven evaluation of how much we should be digging into the topic. This helps us stay up to date faster by turning the news from something where we have to proactively push to find everything into something that's a little bit more passive for us. We can sit back and watch us do a lot of the work. So come along, let me show you what it is in Zapier, and we can take a look together. So the core of the Zapier workflow is in 3 steps. First, we take the trigger called new item in feed in RSS by Zapier. Most media publications will have an RSS feed that turns their content into something that machines can read. And every time they publish a story, that feed also updates, which will trigger this, this first step here. Then we pass that news item into Anthropic Claude to evaluate and write the response. And then finally, we post all of this to Slack. So let's say we're trying to build this news workflow for a team that's trying to stay on top of news in big tech, and you're simply looking to make investment decisions based on these news items. So let's go ahead and jump into this first item, the RSS feed. You can see here that I've set it up to link to the RSS feed of The Verge, which is my favorite old application. I found this link just by Googling RSS feed The Verge. The next step is the core of the logic here, which is the send message in Anthropic. So let's take a look at the prompt that I set up here. First, I'll give it some context into what I'm doing, which is writing a newsletter that informs, that informs investors of the latest developments in technology. Then I specify 3 things that I know my target audience cares. Here, financial results, key developments, and trends. And then I add in, only do this for big tech companies that appear in the S&P 500. Okay. And then finally, I tell it to score it. So I tell it to score each news item on each of the 3 dimensions, from not relevant at all to very relevant. And then finally, write a Slack message with all of that output. At the very bottom, what I put in is the information from the first step. Now, a few things. First, I like to use Claude because, and so we use for our tools. You can use GPT-4, I'll do the mouse. And the second, when you score something using a prompt like this, I'll have score using words rather than a number scale. And that's because these models are built around words, not math. You probably wouldn't encounter serious issues if you did use numbers, but it's just at some point, these models were definitely better at words than math. So this is just to be safe. And then finally, you'll notice these tags here. These item tags. This is specific Claude. You can use these tags to clearly delineate what text refers to what. So when the prompt says, here's news, these tags help understand where the news item starts and ends. And the last step here is a simple one. Just go ahead and put this in Slack. Just dump the results in here. So let's go ahead and flip over to Slack and see the output. So this is what the final message looks like in Slack. It has 3 dimensions I outlined, along with an interpretation of the news item against the dimension. And then it keeps the link and content if you want to dig in further. Okay, so there you go. That's a basic version of the news flow that we've built for the Neuron. I hope that's helpful.
When it comes to drafting and buying emails, Cindy has created email assistance for her team by bringing Zapier AI actions right to ChatGPT. Let's check it out.
Hi everyone. Today I want to show you how you can manage your inbox and calendar all within a single platform. Now this is done directly through the ChatGPT interface. What you see here is a custom GPT, and under the hood are Zapier AI actions. This not only saves you time, but it also enhances productivity by allowing you to focus on your work rather than getting distracted by multiple apps. What's even more exciting is that you can now call on other GPTs that you've created, so you can quickly see how this can be a really powerful tool. Initially, the challenge was to build a system that would just summarize and respond to emails using AI, but the added ability to integrate the calendar here made this a perfect solution. What makes this approach stand out for me is the customization and the training capabilities. You can fine-tune the GPT responses based on your own training data, the AI actions, and in this case, I uploaded 2 sample writing documents. For instance, I went ahead and I uploaded this sample email style and a transcript of the images of this GPT. Now, like I mentioned, this configuration involves creating AI actions on Zapier. I went ahead and I have all my actions here. And we're all here to set, you can go back to your GPT and you can ask it questions. So for instance, let's go ahead and summarize emails for the day. And there you have it. It's going to summarize the emails and say what you're doing, send an email. As you can see, the nations, we're going to confirm. And it went ahead and sent the email. But it forgot to tell me what it actually said. So let's see what it said. So this is the email that's sent. As you can see, it's all done within a single platform. You can do the same thing with calendar events. You can schedule calendar events. You can delete calendar events. You can write an email and update a certain calendar event or invite different people. Possibilities are endless. It's like having your own personal email and calendar assistant. By utilizing ChatGPT's custom GPTs and the AI actions for direct interaction with calendar, I think that you can streamline your workflow, you can reduce distractions, and improve your day-to-day efficiency. Thank you.
All right. Looks like my AI avatar did a good job of interacting with the chat. And with that, we're going to move on to our next demo, which is, did you know you can use AI actions to bring any of the Zapier 6,000 plus apps into ChatGPT? And we've got Dan Shear here to show it off.
ChatGPT just launched this crazy feature, and I'll show it to you. You can now mention custom GPTs. So if I'm typing into ChatGPT and I'm like, hey there, and it's just regular ChatGPT-4. So it says, so here's an example. Maybe I'm writing a journal entry in ChatGPT, right? And I want to save it to Notion. So what I can do is let's get a journal entry. So this is has this record of how he wrote a cursive path called Working Days. So I'm going to take one of his journal entries from May 31st, 1938, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in here. Here's a journal entry I just wrote. So I'm just going to get to ChatGPT, right? And then what I can do is normally, like, I'd have to go, like, copy paste it into Notion over here. What I can do instead is I can do at Notion GPT. And this Notion GPT is a little GPT I built. It's a custom GPT, uses Zapier to connect it into my Notion. And what I do is say, hey, can you summarize the journal entry above and put it into my journal? Right? And we're still in ChatGPT. We're interacting with the custom GPT from ChatGPT. And it creates our little summary. And then it's going to add that summary into Notion. And it says, please confirm. Yes, go ahead. And confirm. So now it says the summary has been successfully added. So if I go to it, it looks like we've got it. So, and if we open it up, we've got the journal entry in here. And so, one, it's super cool just to be able to connect ChatGPT to Notion, but that was already a thing. The really interesting thing is we did that in ChatGPT using a custom GPT that we mentioned. Like, I go like, I don't know. Here's another one. I have a custom GPT called Dreamweaver. That GPT interprets my dream, so I could be like, hey, can you interpret this journal entry as if it was a dream and create an image? So it's going to start interpreting the dream. And again, this is a custom GPT that I built to do a specific kind of dream interpretation and to visualize it. And I have an image of this dream, or it's really a journal entry from John Steinbeck, but whatever. And now the cool thing is, let's go back and let's just add Notion. Can you take this dream interpretation and image and add it as a journal entry in my Notion? And can you do it as, let's see what the date is going to be, as the date June 1st, let's say 1938. Let's see what it does. All right, it says it's been added. That is freaking sick.
All right, last but not least, if you don't feel like opening up ChatGPT, you can actually build custom AI bots right in Zapier Central, which just launched into beta today. Stay tuned for a demo of what's new in Central, but for now, here's our very own Emily Maybe using chatbots or using Central bots to save time.
Hi there, my name is Emily Maybe, and today I'm going to show you one of the ways that I use Zapier Central. I am a member of an employee resource group, which is outside my core role, and every month I find myself taking a bunch of time to go through Slack messages and meeting notes and our strategic plan and try to stay on top of my work, while trying not to take too much time to step away from my core role. Zapier Central is a game changer for helping me turn this half-an-hour-long task into a few minutes. I'll show you how. I'm going to call this bot my ERG strategic planning bot. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a data source. My ERG uses a strategic plan across the entire year. You can see it here. It's got a lot of information in it, and some of it's relevant to me, Emily, and some of it isn't. I also have a notes tab where I copy and paste Slack messages that are relevant to my ERG work. And I want to automate this and make this all work for me in the background. So first set up so that when a new reaction is added in Slack, it will create a new row in my spreadsheet with that Slack message. I'll go ahead and turn it on. You can see I have access to the data source, my strategic planning plan, and that behavior running in the background all the time. So now let's interact with it a little bit so we can see the true power of Zapier Central. I'm going to talk to the bot. I'm going to tell it that my name is Emily and that I'd like it to summarize the strategic planning content that I need to be aware of for May. Now the bot is summarizing everything from that spreadsheet, as well as the notes in the notes section, which are automated to come in from Slack whenever I react to them. Here's where we can see the true power of Zapier Central. Our data source is not static. We have an automation running this behavior that updates it every time I react with the appropriate emoji in Slack. So as you can see, there's new information in our data source. I can continue to talk to the bot over time, and it will have access to this live data. So let's try asking it the exact same question, which is, I'm Emily. Can you please summarize what I need to care about in May? The bot is now reading the new information in our data set and giving me an updated scope of what I need to pay attention to for May, including those brand new Slack messages that found their way into our strategic planning document. Zapier Central allows me to give some simple instructions and have AI take on a ton of work connecting with live data and saving me a bunch of time. I hope this was helpful.
All right, that's a wrap on our customer demos. Super excited about these. I'm curious in the chat, fire away. What was your favorite one that you saw today? What are you most excited to go build and replicate yourself? That last one. Folks excited about Central voice commands. Who doesn't like voice to invoice? All phenomenal. Of course, everyone's great here. Emails. Who doesn't want to do emails? Yeah, a lot of cool stuff you can do with AI. Many things to check out on Zapier. Now you might be thinking, workflows are amazing, but how do I build them? Well, if you want to build a Zap with AI, you can now build it super easily by chatting with Copilot in the editor. Here's a demo from Ruchira on our product team on how to use Copilot.
Hi, I'm Ruchira Kulkarni, a product manager here at Zapier. I'm super excited to show off one of our latest AI features in the Zap editor, Copilot. Copilot is an AI-powered chat that can build Zaps from scratch, help you edit existing ones, and also save some time by auto-selecting aughts for you. Let's jump into a demo to see what it can do. In this example, I want to build a workflow that connects Google Sheets to HubSpots. I've entered this prompt into the box to start off our Copilot. Great, I see that Copilot has created an outline for me, which looks good, and I'm going to add all the steps to my Zap. If only a few of these steps look good to you, you can also add them individually. Copilot now prompts me to open a step. What this does is guide me to the last incomplete step that helps me push closer to publishing a workflow for a Zap. So if I open it, I'll see the last incomplete step, which is the Google Sheet auth, being opened up for me to complete. I have a great outline, but I also want to add an additional Slack step. Specifically, I want to have a Slack DM sent to me when a HubSpot contact is updated. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Copilot to do that for me. I see a few options here, but the one that I think matches closer to what I want is this. So I'll go ahead and add it. After I added the Slack step, you can notice a bunch of logs here. What Copilot is trying to do is auto-select some aughts for us. It's trying to find a match that would help us get closer to publishing. So now if I go and open my Google Sheets, I'll notice that an auth has been selected for me. I'm going to quickly go and complete the rest of this and unblock Copilot from now completing the rest of the steps. Now you can see an auth has been added for HubSpot, and if I continue filling out the rest of the steps, an auth will be added for Slack as well. For the purpose of this demo, I went ahead and added incomplete steps. You can see that Copilot lets us know that all steps have been tested successfully and publish my Zap. Now let's see an example where I have a pre-existing Zap that I want to update to republish. In this Zap, I'm creating a draft email in Outlook using OpenAI when I have a new out-of-office event. Let's assume our company is moving on to a new email provider, Gmail, and I need to update this workflow accordingly. I'm going to ask it to update my email to use Gmail instead of Outlook. So let's see what it does. Perfect. So now I have a few options I can work with. So I'm going to go ahead and swap these out, and we'll see the account connected is the one that I want, also listed out here, and I can continue to update accordingly and republish. I hope you enjoyed these demos, and I'm really excited to see all the ways Copilot will help you build a faster, stronger, and creative workflow. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, if you're looking to build a custom AI chatbot to free up your team and to chat more with your customers, Steph from our product team is here to share some nifty new features we just released to make your chatbots even more powerful.
I'm Steph, and I'm a product manager here at Zapier on our chatbots team. I am so incredibly excited to be connecting with you all. For this demo, I'm going to highlight 2 of our recent updates for the chatbots product and give you a sneak peek into what's coming soon. But first, a bit of background. So with Zapier chatbots, we are building chatbots that help you automate customer support and generate leads using the power of AI and automation. The example chatbot that I have here is an imaginary chatbot for a farm flower business. To build this chatbot, I connected it to GPT-4. I added in some instructions about, how I wanted it to operate. I also connected it to a Zapier table to serve as my custom knowledge source. And then I also adjusted the style of it to match the look and feel of the brand, so it's super ready to just drop on the farm's website. The goal being to give customers a resource where they can get all the answers to their questions 24/7, while also bringing new sales in for the business. Okay, so now onto the exciting new features. We added 2 new pieces of functionality last month that will allow you to further customize chat. So first is suggestions, and the second is lead collection. For both of these, I'm going to head to the Actions tab in the Chatbots Builder. So first up, I'm going to show you how to make it easier for customers to get started engaging with the chatbot quickly by providing some good examples for the types of questions that the chatbot can answer. I've already set this up in the chatbot with a few prompts, so I'm going to click in to just show you what that looks like. So a builder can go in and add up to 5 suggested prompts to each chatbot. These suggestions are going to show at the very beginning of the conversation, like you see here in the test space on the right. When a customer clicks on the button, this is going to immediately kick off the conversation with that question. So that prompt is going to get sent to AI to then respond. The chatbot is going to search through the custom knowledge and utilize the relevant context that it finds to then share a message within the conversation. So this feature helps users find value with the chatbots quickly, as well as guidance for how they can engage with the tool with free questions as well. Next, I'm going to add a second action to collect some information from within the conversation so I can follow up with these leads after their chat. With this feature, you're able to select the type of contact information that you want. I'm going to just select name and email for this example, and then I'm going to click save. When I do that, it's going to create a Zapier table to store this information, and then I'm going to go to the chat, and I'm going to kick it off with just a free text question of, do you have tulips? Because I've set lead collection, the chatbot is going to respond and ask for my name and email directly within the conversation. What's great is we're using AI to ask this question as part of the natural conversation versus injecting a bulky form. So I'm going to add my information. The chatbot will then extract it and immediately add it to the table that it created. It's then going to continue the conversation based on the initial question that I asked about tulips. So from this table that you see here, you can see that's pulled information from the chat, and from there you can go and create zaps to do everything from alerting a team member of the conversation or adding this contact info to your CRM. So both of these features are available for you currently. We're also excited to expand these in the future. We plan to add things like new conditions or when these are triggered, collecting info from custom fields, being able to give you access to the entire transcript in your apps, and then adding additional styling options for customization of the look and feel. So definitely check out your chats and let us know if you have any feedback on what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for the time and have a great day. Bye.
Like I mentioned, our latest AI product, Zapier Central, just went live to beta today. Central is the place in Zapier to work hand in hand with bots that are trained on your data to perform tasks for you. And here's the latest from Andy, our director of AI.
Hey folks, Andy Berman, director of AI at Zapier. I'm excited to tell you more about Central. Central is an experimental AI workspace. It allows you to create natural language with access to over 6,000 integrations. I'm excited to announce that today we're moving Central into beta. In Central, we have live dynamic data source integrations with HubSpot, Notion, Airtable, and more. And we're shipping new integrations every few weeks. You can configure complex multi-step workflows in natural language, chat with dynamic data and apps, and much more. So let's show you what Central can do. Maybe you're like me and you're struggling to keep up with all the AI news. Maybe you want something new for your boss. I'm going to ask Central to search for the top 3 results in Google on AI today. Here we go. This will just take a few moments. Now I can use instant actions to create a draft email to my boss. The actions in progress, created a draft email. Now all I need to do is refresh, click on email, and enter their email address. Now there is one more thing I want to show you, something I can't wait to ship soon. The Central Chrome extension. Now your bots can work with you across the internet. Let's have Central summarize this blog post. Wow. And this is just the beginning. We're shipping new features weekly. Check out Central at zapier.com/central and try your free day.
Alrighty, if you're feeling pumped by all the demos you saw today and want to continue the conversation, I encourage you to join our Wizards Guild. It's a community of Zapier users who share best practices, they level up their skills, and they share use cases around AI. You can join at wizards.zapier.com. Now, before we dive into Q&A, 2 more reminders. We are going to send out the recording of this. And if you learn how to implement many of these steps, come to the webinar on May 14th, next Tuesday. So go ahead and subscribe to that. All right, we made it to Q&A. Let's invite our product managers onto the stage. Welcome, Ruchira, Steph, Andy. And go ahead and kick it off the first question. Melanie asking, plan are Zapier chatbots available on? Steph, over to you for this one.
Yeah, you can access chatbots with any of your Zapier plans. Within chatbots, we have 3 tiers for the add-on. So there's a free option that you can start experimenting with. And we also have some additional capabilities on our premium and advanced add-ons chatbots.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to stick with you here, Steph, from Patrick, or actually from Eric. Is there an easy way to integrate chatbots with WordPress?
So chatbot you can share in a couple of ways. 1, you can share a chatbot through an interface. 2, you can share just a public link to a chatbot. And then 3, what I think might work well for your use case is you can embed chatbots. So we give you access to both embed code as well as an iframe. And so if that will work with your WordPress, then use the chatbot then.
Awesome. Sticking with you here, Steph. So for Patrick, for chatbots, does it store chat logs and is it shareable to others?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So currently, you as the builder can go in and access the conversation history. So you'll be able to see the full conversation transcript as well as any feedback that was provided on, for down on the responses from the chatbot. And then coming soon, we are currently building the ability for you to use the entire transcript in the Zap. So essentially, when conversation ends, you can have that trigger as a trigger in your Zap. And so you could do things like summarize the transcript. You could alert a team member of it, or you could add it to any table or other tool that you want. So more cool functionality coming soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph. Andy, this one's coming your way. So from Keela, how does Zapier protect proprietary or confidential information from our business? Does things go through the transformer model? Is it used to train them?
So the answer is anytime you're using a Zapier, anytime you're using an OpenAI API key, they don't train on your data. So that's number 1. Number 2, in products like Central, we provide the actual model key. And so in those products, no one is training on it. So if you're using a ChatGPT free product, that would have different data retention and OpenAI's website.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. Steph, we're coming back your way. So this is from Eugene. Can a chatbot for customer support learn or fetch information from a provider instead of uploading a file with all the information the chatbot says?
That is not currently capabilities that we have with the Zapier chatbot, but it's something that we expect to work to improve in the next quarter or two. And then currently, one thing you can do with URLs in the chatbot is you can provide that as resources for your end users. So say you had a great help center that you wanted to share out or a blog post, you could add those into its training, so it provides those resources for your customers.
Awesome. Thank you, Steph. Also, sticking with you here, can the chatbot view brand guidelines and take those into account?
Great question. So it's only going to incorporate static text at this point as custom knowledge. So if you have guidelines for, say you're creating content using a chatbot, you can put that directive of how you want it to, provide editing to the content that you upload there. But it's not going to take that as a knowledge source.
Thank you. Then from Steve, is it in the roadmap for chatbots to pull live information from sources? So for example, Salesforce or Google Sheets.
So yes, it is in the roadmap for us to be able to scrape websites. And then we'd also plan to expand that to have it be on like a resyncing automation. So you'd be able to select when you would want, like how often you would want that to sync up. So yeah.
Awesome. Andy, over to you. What LLMs is Zapier Central's AI built on?
Thanks, Wade. We use a number of LLMs building Zapier Central, so we don't disclose the exact LLM we're using.
Awesome. Sticking with you, Andy. So this is from Joseph. How do we use Central? So maybe Andy, like, what do you use Central for? And maybe what are some of the favorite things you've seen others do?
So some of the best use cases I've seen are some very complicated workflows that need to crawl the web. So my favorite one was we had, very similar to the demo I showed, somebody wanted to actually create a blog writer using live news from the internet. So a CEO would come in, they would receive a summary of the news. It would actually pre-write blog posts for them, and they could just quickly send it to their LinkedIn. So I thought that was an incredible workflow. There are a ton of different productivity, lead management, and lead collection workflows that you can build. And we'd love to hear more from you. So come on over to zapier.com/central and give us some feedback. I really appreciate it.
All right, Andy, another question. This one's from Eric. Why would you use ChatGPT AI actions when Zapier Central might be much easier to create those behaviors and connect with external apps, specifically with calendar adjustments or emails getting sent and things like that?
Well, I think ChatGPT AI Actions is an older product that we brought to market. Central is one of our newer products, and it's in beta today. So I would encourage you to check out Central and give us some feedback on it.
All righty. Steph, coming back your way from Deva. Can chatbots be used for email replies?
It's a great question. I actually might pass this on to Andy because this is a place where I think Central really excels. So Andy, could you talk more about this one?
Thanks, Steph. So I think one way to think about the difference between chatbots and Central is Central's really focused on internal automations, and chatbots itself is focused on automation and chat interactions on a website. So Central would be a great place to try writing emails. So I would check out zapier.com/central. Central, and you can build those type of internal user-specific workflows you're trying to build there.
Alrighty. Steph, for you, this is from Elsa. If we upgrade to chatbots, can we create more than one for different websites?
Yes. So on our free plan, you can create 2 chatbots on the premium external use case for customer support and lead generation. But for the chatbot, for example, that we've built about our Zapier chatbots, I do also share that same chatbot internally if people have questions about that product. So you can use it for frequently asked questions that you may have internally from your sales team, for instance. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. This one's from Danielle, and probably for everyone, but maybe we'll start with you, Ruchira. What's the difference between Zapier Copilot, Central, and Chatbot?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely take the Copilot part of this question. So Copilot's purpose is to really help you build an automation by building a Zap, like the core part of your Zap workflow. So you can ask Copilot to create like Zap outlines for you, suggest steps, be a thought partner. So if you're unsure about what sort of Zap you want to build, you can brainstorm by having Copilot like ask you the right follow-up questions to build that automation to lead to you to enable it. Going to pass it over to Andy and Steph.
So in terms of Central versus chatbots is really focused on the sales success, web-based use cases that are customer-facing. So if you're building a customer-facing workflow on your website, that's what I would look at, and that's what I would look at, chatbots. If you're looking to automate complex workflows, you're looking to do work that you'd think an AI assistant would build, that's where I'd look at Central. These are internal tools. It has access to all these it has access to a lot of dynamic knowledge sources like HubSpot, Notion, and Airtable. And it also has access to the 6,000 plus integrations on the Zapier platform. So I hope that's helpful.
Awesome. Steph, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that was perfect. Thanks, Andy.
Perfect. All right. This one's from Mattias. And I think for you, Steph, so in the lead collection chatbot feature Steph showed, if the lead only submits an email, will the bot have a follow-up asking for the name before storing the lead?
It likely will. So if the user is only responding to one of the prompts it asks, it will usually follow up. But I will caveat that if the user says, hey, I really just want to answer this question, or I want to skip this, or I don't want to answer, it will continue on in the conversation. We've given it the direction that the priority should be helping the customer and answering those questions. So it's not like a hard stop for the conversation if they don't provide information.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph. And next question's from Thomas, also for you, Steph. Is it possible to connect a chatbot with the back end of WooCommerce, for example, so it can access the product info and respond appropriately? Or do you have to essentially write out the FAQs, rules of the website into a document and then upload it?
Yeah, our current functionality is that you can upload static text files like a PDF or a CSV, or you can connect to a Zapier table as the data source. So those are our 2 options currently, but we plan to expand our options in the future to give you more flexibility.
Awesome. Thank you. Next from Laura, also for you, Steph. Do you have to use Zap tables for extracting data from the Zapier chatbot conversation, or can I set it up a Zap to send the data to my Airtable?
Yeah. So with our Zapier tables functionality collecting lead information, it's going to always automatically store in a table. But from there, you can connect that table to any of the 6,000 integrations that Zapier has. So you could send that over to whatever program you want. And then with conversation history, that is going to be all set up through a Zap. So you could take the full conversation transcript and send that to any place that you want as well.
Awesome. We got Scott up next, and this one's for either Andy or Steph. Is there a way to pair the chatbot interface to Central? So, for example, if I'm an agency and I want my clients to be able to trigger automations in Central using natural language interface rather than learning how to use Central themselves, would that be doable?
I might let Andy take that one first.
So the answer on that is not yet today. Central's a product in beta. What we're doing right now is we're learning from our users to the degree that's the case. A lot of people interested in. We can prioritize it.
Awesome. From Nathan, we're going to hand this to you, Rira. Biggest problem that I have is what are the most popular automations that I can start running today? I have paralysis analysis. I don't know where I should start. Any suggestions for where to get started?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the first place I would suggest is going to the Zapier dashboard. We have a bunch of templates there that you can choose from and get started. When it comes to Copilot specifically, this is a use case I really like, that you can go to Copilot, ask it to help you build an automation. So let's say, for example, you use Trello, but you don't really know what to do with it. You can go to Copilot and say, hey, I want to build something using Trello. And Copilot is, trained to ask follow-up questions to really help prime your use case and find a use case to build that automation for you.
Awesome. All right, folks, we're almost here at the top of the hour, so I appreciate all question engagement. Hopefully this was a helpful and inspirational showcase for you all. Reminders, we are going to send out the recording link, so you'll get that in your email. You can also access it by just coming back to this URL. 2, we have a workshop next Tuesday, May 14th, where you can come learn how to set some of this stuff up. So if this was going so fast, there's too many great ideas, and you're like, I just need to slow down. Next Tuesday, that's the place to come and learn this. And also, Zapier has all these resources available on our site. You can go to the blog, you can go to our Learn. You can also just sign up and play around. One of the best ways to get comfortable doing this stuff is to just go build. So have fun, everybody. Thanks for showing up, and we'll catch you for our next showcase. Cheerio, everyone.